like the title says, we were all lied to. Alright? Now, everybody knows that ever since Biden took office, nothing has been honest, nothing has been straightforward. But it's not just him, it's not just Kamala Harris, it is now the Pentagon that is coming out saying this, alright? Now, the U.S. drone strike that the Pentagon said killed a Kabul suicide bomber actually killed a worker and 7 children who ran to greet him when he arrived home in a car that video shows he filled with water jugs, not explosives. So how do you get that wrong? All right, you come out and literally say you killed a terrorist that was part of the Kabul airport bombing. All right, but it actually turns out you killed an aid worker and 7 innocent children who ran to greet him. How do you screw that up? And the even sadder part is that if this was Trump's administration, okay, they'd be blasting, oh my god, he killed 7 innocent children and an aid worker when he said that he killed a terrorist. But since they did it under Joe Biden's administration, nothing's being said about it. Again, 7 innocent kids were killed. All right, it's one thing, okay, if you're gonna fire a missile at some, make sure you intend to hit your target. Alright, it's kind of like pointing a gun. When you go to shoot the gun, you want to make sure that you are aiming at your target. You never point a gun at something unless you are aiming to destroy that or take out that threat. So, again, when you are doing this, you need to make sure that you are destroying the right thing. But instead, you killed 7 innocent children. But where's the breaking news on this? This is over 3 hours old now. Where is the breaking news that they killed 7 innocent children? Like, nothing has. Joe Biden can do nothing wrong, it seems like, to the media. Border crisis, nothing wrong. But he's talking about combating COVID-19. But you're allowing illegal immigrants in, no problem. Let them in, no problem. They don't have to get tested, they don't have to take vaccines, but you're mandating vaccines for the American people. Like, over 100 million people are supposedly going to be mandated by vaccines. Alright? One, it should be personal preference on, whether you want to take a vaccine or not. Number two, like I said, you're mandating vaccines for over 100 million people and for companies with over 100 employers, but we have illegal immigrants, thousands at a time, every day coming in, and it's fine. Nothing happens to them. Nothing. They ain't got to take a vaccine. They don't have to get tested. Whatever they have, it's fine. Just let them in. But the American people, oh well, better do what we say or else. Like it's all a big scam. That's all it is. All right. Now, his name. Now I am probably gonna get his name wrong. Um, Samurai Amadi 43. Now, say he was driving his Toyota Corolla that was destroyed in the August 29th drone strike, killing him and 9 family members, including 7 children. Pentagon still maintains that only 3 civilians died, despite the family now detailing in the report how their 10 relatives were killed in the blast. Now, I will say, I believe the family of the Pentagon. Why? What reason do I have to believe the Pentagon? And people can argue, well, you never met the family. Okay, well, I've never met the Pentagon either. I mean, I much more believe the family than I do the Pentagon. Now, days after the attack, President Joe Biden gave a speech in which he marked the withdrawal of American troops in Afghanistan by the August 31st deadline. Now, you did that because you were told to do that. Taliban said you will keep that deadline, and that's why you did it. That's the only reason you did that deadline, and that's the only reason our troops came out on August 31st. Because if everybody remembers correctly, you wanted to pull our troops out on September 11th, which would be today. So why would you want to pull our troops out on a historic and devastating day like that? Like, that doesn't even add up. You want to pull our troops out on September 11th? That makes no sense. So, like I said, he touted Americans' ability to strike terrorists. But you didn't hit terrorists. You hit 7 children who died because, you know, the Pentagon and you are just out of it. Uh, hey Rebecca, how you doing? He goes on to say, ability to strike terrorists and targets without boots on the ground, but he failed to mention the high civilian casualty rate from the August 29th drone strike, and he failed to mention that children have been killed. Now, um, when Trump actually sent out one of the many rockets he sent, he actually hit a terrorist. He actually hit 2 terrorists, and I believe there was 1 civilian casualty from it near the airport. But again, he took out 2 terrorists. All right, 1 civilian casualty. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, he killed a civilian. He killed a civilian. He killed a civilian." Okay, but he took out 2 terrorists. All right, here Biden has not taken out any terrorists. He took out 10 family members, including 7 children, but no terrorists. Now he goes on to say, "We struck ISIS-K remotely days after they murdered 13 of our service members and dozens of innocent Afghans. And to ISIS-K, we are not done with you yet," he said in his speech. All right, so with that being said, you know, you murdered, you did not kill anybody, okay? Um, as a president of the United States, you have a job to protect the American people and fulfill duties. And part of fulfilling duties would be to actually take out the people that, killed our 13th service member, not, you know, 7 children who had no harm and could do no evil, and 3 other people that were looking after these children and these children that actually looked up to them. Again, this whole administration is just a joke. And to see these 7 kids, it's heartbreaking to see these 7 kids that are dead now because of what they did, and the fact that they're not taking any kind of responsibility for it. Now, it said Ahmadi worked for the U.S.-based A Group Nutrition and Educational Program International and spent a day running routine errands for the group, loading nothing into the car other than jugs full of water to bring home to his family. All of them were innocent, Ahmadi's brother Emil told a newspaper, noting that Ahmadi has sought refugee status for the U.S. based on his international aid work. You say he was ISIS, but he worked for the Americans. Alright. The Pentagon, now this part, the Pentagon has insisted that Ahmadi's movements linked him to ISIS-K's safe house, and that there were explosives in his vehicle intended to be used in a suicide attack on U.S. troops in the final hours of Kabul evacuation. So, it gets even worse than that, though. They go on to say, this was a righteous strike, said Joint Chiefs Chairman Mark A. Milley, which I believe is a complete disgrace. He is a complete disgrace as a human being. Now, he claimed that Maya was an ISIS facilitator. Now, before I go any further, okay, if he was actually part of ISIS, why would he be working for the U.S.-based A Group, Nutrition and Education International? He's not going to do anything that way. If he really want to take out people, what is he doing working there? It's not like he's making a whole bunch of money. It's not like he's trying to get into anything. He's not going to do anything that way. And again, these 7 children looked up to him. They went running up to him when he got home. And you're talking about he had bombs in his car. He had jugs of water in his car that were for the children. Like, y'all can't even get something like that right. Like, I just don't understand. And then the fact that you were trying to claim it as a righteous strike. It's not a righteous strike. Again, 7 innocent children were killed, and you're trying to claim this as a righteous strike. It's not. Alright, so, in a statement in the Daily Mail on Friday, Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby stood by an intelligence assessment that led to the strike, but not deny that there were civilian casualties. U.S. Central Command continues to assess the results of the airstrike in Poland on August 29th. We won't get ahead of that assessment. Because you're wrong. You're wrong. However, as we have said, no other military works harder than we do to prevent civilian casualties. Yeah, because all they do is, you're just letting our soldiers die. You send a missile over there, like, oh, we took out terrorists. Comes out, you actually just killed 10 innocent people. And now you're trying to say it was a righteous strike and he's working for ISIS when he was really just trying to help children. Alright, so the drone strike occurred at the home where Ahmadi lived with three of his brothers and their families. Bruin gave the house to scene after U.S. drone strikes Kabul, Afghanistan. U.S. claimed drone strike destroyed a vehicle carrying multiple suicide bombers. He was the only one in there. So again, you're wrong again. If there are multiple suicide bombers, where are the other ones at? Like, if you literally took down the time to track him down, okay? You're saying there are multiple suicide bombers in the car. If a missile hits the car and they're strapped with explosives or there's explosives in the car, obviously the car is going to completely explode and nobody's going to make it out alive. That's common sense, okay? So, if there are multiple suicide bombers, I'd like to know where the other ones are, because they just walk away or run away scot-free. So, again, that is not the only thing that is going on with this administration. They're trying to force vaccine mandates. Like, a reporter even today, alright, asked Jen Psaki if her and Joe Biden thought about, the country being divided over the vaccine mandate. Her words were, we're not concerned about it. So, you mean to tell me, as a White House press secretary, and I'm sure Joe Biden said this, so you're telling me as a White House press secretary, you and your administration are not worried about the country being divided over your forced vaccine policies, is what pretty much what you're saying. that is disturbing in itself. That you're not worried about that. So you lied to us from the beginning. Let's just start from the beginning of this administration, alright? Hey, how you doing? So the border has gone completely crap. We don't even talk about that no more. We just have hundreds of thousands of people across the border every day. Multiple Border Patrol agents have been jumped, assaulted. Some of them have been shot at. Their vehicles have been damaged. Total loss due to bullets hitting it. That was the first thing that went to crap. And people, oh, Joe Biden didn't do it. There are literally illegal immigrants sitting at the border wearing shirts, letters and Joe Biden. Alright. Next thing, law enforcement has been completely dismantled and everything else. Alright. Like I said, Minneapolis really has a program on the November ballot to eliminate law enforcement. It is to abolish the police. That is one of the options to vote for. Exactly, Rebecca. Now, it is September 11th, okay? So far this year, we've had 266 officers killed in the line of duty. 266 officers, alright, killed in the line of duty. Ambush attacks are up more than 50% from this time in 2020 on law enforcement, alright? You want all law enforcement to take a vaccine. You want all EMTs to take a vaccine. All firefighters to take a vaccine. Our military has gone woke, alright? Our military is not what it used to be. Our military is being downgraded, and you want them to take a vaccine. Why? Why would you want that? Let the military do what they do, which is protect us, alright? Who cares if they take a vaccine? That is not something we need to worry about. If they don't know what gender they are, let them figure that out on their own time. That is not for us to invest money in, alright? That is not our problem. That is their problem. Another thing. This whole virus situation, as in itself, is a serious concern, alright? Like I said, you're literally trying to force 100 million people to get vaccinated. There's no way. It's not gonna happen. Like, honestly, exactly, Mrs. Hancock. But Joe Biden, it's not gonna work. It's not. Joe Biden, you're failing. All right, your poll numbers are in the 30s. You have entire football stadiums, and I say stadiums with an S, not just one, multiple. There was like 3 or 4 football stadiums where people were saying F Joe Biden, F Joe Biden, F Joe Biden. He's not working as a president. He's not working for the American people. And he's said so many times that, he's not supposed to be taking questions. He's not in charge. He's not, he's going to get in trouble for this. Like, who says that as a president? You are the highest person in charge. People literally look up to you for answers. But we can't look up to you because, like, you don't even know where you are. Like, I haven't had the education or anything. But I can tell you right now, I could do a better job as president than what he's doing right now. I have common sense and I have a backbone. He doesn't. As a president, you need to have common sense and you need to have a backbone, just like Trump did. You can't bow down to these other countries. Like, other countries are laughing at us. China's laughing at us. China has even come out and said they're laughing at us. And the thing is, the United States is supposed to be a free country, right? We're supposed to be free. So, if we're so free, why is it that we are forcing vaccines but China isn't? China's supposed to be the communist country and all this. They're not forcing vaccines, but we are. And look at Australia. Alright? So, Australia has gone way off the charts. Like I said, they're killing animals. They have guards outside of cafes. And not just any guards, they actually have military outside of cafes and enforce the mask mandates. If you refuse to wear a mask or take a vaccine, they will have cops or military outside of your house, and you will not leave until you decide that you will cooperate with them. And again, all this is coming here. Alright? Don't think that it's not coming here. Everything that's happened in Australia, everything that's happening in New Zealand, it's all coming here. Alright? It's coming to the United States, and it's just a matter of time. Like here, Illinois school staff member who calls student POS over mask. Why would you call a student that over something like that? There was another one, a college in California. A professor actually just quit. He literally just packed up his stuff and left because one student would not wear a mask. Like, it's not feasible to think what is actually happening. Like, it's not. Now, one last thing I want to talk about. Now, I do have a video that I'm gonna make about this, but 9/11. All right, so 9/11. That was a horrible time in our country's history. Now, I was only 2.5, almost 3 at the time when it happened. All right, so obviously, I didn't see it. I don't remember hearing much about it, but with that being said, that's when everybody came together. That was a time everybody literally came together. Everybody was either giving blood. They were staying in hours long line giving blood. They were out in the streets trying to comfort people. There were even people cooking meals for other people, bringing out water, stuff like that. Or people were at home with their families, thankful that they had a family to go home to. Washington, where you had threats directed at you. I'm not talking about just, Pennsylvania, where the attacks actually happened. I'm talking about all around the world, whether you're in the southeastern United States, northeast and west coast, east coast, plains, it didn't matter. Wherever you were, people were united and unified together. And that's just how it was at that time. But 20 years later, it's like it didn't even happen. And honestly, I agree with some people. 20 years later, are we in a better spot or a worse spot than we were 20 years later? Obviously the attacks happened 20 years ago, but honestly, it feels like we're in a worse spot now. With all these other countries laughing at us, we just had 13 troops killed. Comes out now that Joe Biden didn't even kill, or the Pentagon didn't even kill any terrorists. They killed 10 innocent children. And again, we got other countries just laughing at us. Other countries that are talking about going to war. It's not a good time. It's really not. Um, it's really not a good time. Um, yeah, Tyler. If you come in Wednesday, I'll do that for you. I just don't have the means to do it right now. But again, honestly, I think we're in a worse spot right now than we were 20 years ago. It's sad to say, but I really think that's how it is. Exactly, Miss Hancock. You know, he really is. He's just following whatever they say. And for the longest, I thought that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I honestly thought Kamala Harris was telling Joe Biden what to do, but she wasn't. Honestly, I don't even think Kamala Harris is in control. I don't know who's in control. It could be Nancy Pelosi. It could be Kamala Harris, but she's never around. If you think about it, she's never around. Like when everything happened in Afghanistan, she went to Vietnam. Like that doesn't ring a bell. Like we just had 13 troops killed. You go to Vietnam, you come back. Boys are asking you about it. You laugh. Why? And where are you at now? Like nobody's ever even seen. Oh, she's in California right now, trying to help Gavin Newsom out. And while I brought that up, Larry Elders was attacked. Okay, his security team was attacked. His security team was hit by paintballs, and he was actually hit with eggs. But where is the outrage? There's no outrage. Nothing at all. Everybody's like, oh well, oh well, that's gonna happen when you run from when you run. No, it's not gonna happen. That is not what happens. Okay, it's not what happens. But this is just ridiculous. It really is. Now, one more thing before I get off. Now, I would make a whole video about this, but I know if I put this in the title, they'll probably ban me for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover it now. Now, more kids have been shot in Chicago than have died of COVID-19 across U.S. this year. Now, I am honestly not surprised by this. I mean, what, 8 kids just got shot last weekend? So, over the course of 2021, now again, we are barely 6 months into 2021. So, more minors have been shot in Chicago than have died of COVID-19 in all the United States. A total of 214 children, 17 years old or younger, have died of COVID-19 so far this year in the country. The whole country, all 50 states, okay? Every single 50 states, alright? Every single one of them. Now, comparatively, Chicago police told Fox 32 Chicago earlier this week 261 children have been shot, 41 of whom have died. Okay, so let's just think about this for a minute. 214 children, 17 years old or younger, have died of COVID-19 so far this year. Now, obviously, 214 children. Yes, that is a lot. Don't get me wrong, alright? And I'm not saying that the virus is real, not real. I'm not saying that it's fake. I'm just saying numbers are made up and it doesn't add up. But you have 261 children who have been shot, 41 who have died, alright? When you get shot, that is something that you have to live with for the rest of your life, alright? And you will be traumatized with that for the rest of your life, alright? That's just how it goes. It doesn't matter if you are the toughest, strongest person in the world or if you are, the weakest, scariest person ever in the world, alright? I remember when I was like 4 or 5, I actually was caught in the middle of bullets. Right? And that will live with me for the rest of my life. Now, honestly, has it helped me? Has it changed me? Yeah, it has, but, that is something that you will live with for the rest of your life. Now, while COVID 19 cases among children increased significantly between August and September, deaths among those groups make up 0.27% of all COVID 19 deaths in the states, reporting data. 7 states reported 0 deaths among children, according to the CDC. More children have been fatally shot in Chicago alone than have died of COVID 19 in the entire state of Illinois. Illinois Department of Public Health confirmed to Fox News that 25 people under the age of 18 have died of COVID 19 since the pandemic began. Alright, so 25 people under the age of 18 have died from COVID 19 in Chicago. 25, but you have 261 shot. But y'all so worried about COVID. Why? Like, don't you think you should get your gun control under control? Since y'all have strict gun laws, as y'all claim. Alright, so the CDC has recorded 18 total COVID-19 deaths in Illinois in 2021. Over Labor Day weekend alone, 63 people were shot, including 8 children. Among the 6 deceased out of 63 total wounded was one 4-year-old Alabama boy who died after he was shot on Friday while getting his hair done inside West Side apartment. So, like I said, the boy's mother came out and said, she didn't know about a motive. There is no motive. Chicago is just a crime zone. That's all it is. If you go to Chicago, you will see gang member after gang member after gang member just shooting each other, fighting each other. And I'm not saying that all of Chicago is like that, but it is turning into that. The cops are overwhelmed. All they're doing is fighting after shooting after shooting after shooting. And they don't have enough officers to even respond to that. So you might be waiting 30 minutes for cops to respond to a shooting because they're at another shooting investigating. It doesn't add up. This whole virus thing does not add up. You can call it what you want, but it does not add up. That's great, Rebecca. Having hard work is hard to find this day and age. Alright, yeah, exactly, Miss Hancock. They don't want to talk about the depression that sets in where you can't do anything. You're literally locked in your house. You go to work and you're locked in your house. You go grocery shopping, you're locked in your house. You can't do nothing. They don't want you to do anything. And that's what they want. Alright? They want you to stay away from people. They want you to be depressed. They want you to be separated from each other. They want you to think that this is the worst thing out there, when it's really not. Honestly, Joe Biden is the worst thing out there, in my personal opinion. Michelle, I don't honestly think Joe Biden has millions. He might have 1 million or 2 people that actually follow him. I just find it hard to believe that, even 5 million people follow him, much less 81 million people voting for you. I just don't see it happening. I just don't. I don't see it. People can argue that all day long, and you ask 100 people right now. How do you think Joe Biden is doing? Would you vote for Joe Biden again in 2024? Obviously it's going to depend where I ask. If I ask in the South, probably 80, 90 of them are going to say no. They won't vote for Joe Biden. He's doing a horrible job. Northeast, it'd probably be 50-50, maybe 60 wouldn't and 40 would. Go to California and all that, then, obviously, you're probably going to get 90 or 80 that would vote for him. He's doing a great job, and, that 20 to 30% that say he's not doing a great job and wouldn't vote for him. And then in the Plains, it depends on where you go. If you go to Texas, then obviously, Texas is hugely Republican. So again, a lot of it depends on where you ask, but at the end of the day, Joe Biden's poll numbers are dropping in key battleground states like Pennsylvania. I believe like 59% disapprove and 30 something percent do approve, with 59% disapprove. Um, the key battleground states, even Arizona was like 70% disapprove. So that is huge, huge key battleground states that you pretty much need to win the presidential election, right? Now, obviously, you can get away without winning some. Arizona's not really a big state. I think it's like 4 points. North Carolina's 6 points. Pennsylvania's like 30 something points. And you need Pennsylvania. If you don't have Pennsylvania, then you're pretty much you're done. Now, like I said, that's really all I have for y'all. Like I said, I'm going to do another video on remembering September 11th. That will be up later on. And like I said, I'm going to try and do my live streams on Wednesday. Again, if I have a time, I'll do more than one. If I don't have time, then, I'll just do that one. But, as always, thank y'all for watching, and exactly, that's what they want. They just want you to follow what they say. And like I said, what Jen Psaki said earlier, and I really don't care if I'm saying her name right or not. What she said earlier was really disturbing. When a reporter asks you, how you feel about your country being divided due to your doing of your vaccine mandates. She even brought up Afghanistan and stuff like that, which she didn't answer. But when a reporter asks you how you feel about, your country being divided over vaccine mandates and the president, how he feels, and you say, you don't care, that is deeply concerning in itself. Exactly, Rebecca. That's her famous thing, circle back to. Um, but like I said, I got another video coming up later on, so you'll stay tuned for that. As always, thank y'all for watching, and like I said, next live stream will probably be Wednesday, so stay